You know what is 1,000 times better than buying stuff with money? Buying whatever you want with no money. What's up, FlowChat fam and sales? Listen, today is a really powerful conversation that we get to have with a fellow FlowChat fam member. That's a lot of F word. So in this conversation, all business owners, entrepreneurs, sales marketing professionals, this is for you. We are talking to a sales master. Who knows how many dollars he has sold over the course of his career. But now what he's putting together, he's using sales in all aspects of the business for recruiting, for investors, for also selling a product and service. He is going to walk us through what is crazy powerful. And then once he shares and gives some value, he's going to take us behind the scenes on how he's applying this right now. I got to give him one hook, Justin. I know you can hear this right now. We're going to bring you on in a second. Listen, he has 30 employees, and this is a good thing. Not like, hear me closely on this. He has 30 employees that have signed up, working for him, bought into the vision, and he hasn't paid him a dime yet. Of course, he's going to come through because he's already done it before, and that's who he is. But you got to hear this story. And you can't hear from me. You got to hear from Justin. Justin, thanks for hanging out with us today.
I'm Chris. I'm so excited to be here.
You're the man. Always full of energy in life, never a dull moment. Hey, so I know you and I like to go fast, and everyone listening is the same way. What the heck do you mean? How to buy anything without money, man? What does that mean?
So I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but inflation is real, and money isn't actually worth what it's worth. Like, period. Money's just a concept. It's this idea that the government thinks they control. And it makes sense. It does. Like, there is a ton of control. Don't get me wrong. There's no way to do this without money. But far too often, sorry, I get so excited.
Let's go.
Often, people look at money as the number one thing they need, right? I need money to start my business. I need money to market. I need money to grow. I need money to hire people. And that is totally true, right? Money is an asset, and you can use that asset however you want. But what if I told you you have an asset that appreciates in value and you have complete control of it?
And everyone listening, watching, this is exactly why I wanted you to be a part of this conversation. I wanted to bring Justin to you because how the person down the street or at the church you go to or the family birthday parties, other people talk, they all view money a certain way. But what I love to do is find people that, number one, get results that I want to model and get, and I want to understand their brain and how they view money. Because you know what? It happens 100% of the time. They view it different than the people that don't get the results that I don't want view money. And so as you're already getting the sense, Justin has a different perspective on money, which I know is going to be really powerful for you today. So Justin, as you're describing, it's this asset, but we have this other asset. Can you tell us more about that?
Exactly. And everybody puts this huge value on money, right? As the end all be all. So have you ever thought, man, I need to go get an investor. I need to get $100,000 so that I can launch my business. This is my vision. This is my idea. This is where I'm going, right?
100%.
And we've all had those thoughts. Trust me, I've had those thoughts. I used to think money was the most important thing in growing a business. But guess what? It's not. Money is actually almost worthless when it comes to growing a business.
Okay. Hold on a second. All right. So we're having fun with this conversation. There's two things I want everyone listening and watching this to be thinking about right now. Let's play a game. Let's say that everyone listening, watching, congratulations for watching the spotlight of, for FlowChat in the FlowChat fam today. And y'all are going to get $250,000 right now wired to your account. We're playing a game. Remember, this isn't real. We're playing a game, okay? You're getting $250,000 wired to your account right now. What would you do with that capital? Would you hire more developers? Would you hire some more marketing or deploy it for a marketing campaign? It'd be like, oh my gosh, like I could use this money here. I could hire this person. I wouldn't be stressed. But you just said, Justin, the second category of like, hey, you don't need it. That's crazy talk. Tell us more about this?
Here's the thing, right? Real estate. People can understand real estate real easy. You buy a house, over time, land does not just expand. So that house appreciates in value because it's an asset. Your business is an asset, just like a house. You have 100% equity in your business, in your idea, in what it is you're doing. So that is actually worth way more than money, because everybody, this is why I believe right now we are going to go through. Oh,
I still got you. You're breaking up a little bit, but you're still there.
My computer went all kinds of wonky on me. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
So I believe right now we are about to experience one of the biggest financial crashes in our history.
Okay.
And I believe that it's coming because employees are compensated through cash, and cash has almost no value, and employees are investing their most valuable asset, which is time. See, upper level, middle level, easy to hire for those roles, right? Everybody wants a job that pays more.
Yeah.
Any restaurant you go to, is there a hiring sign? Are they paying $20 an hour? It's because it is more expensive to close down the restaurant than to pay someone $20 to flip a burger, right? So people are realizing this. And I think there is going to be a mass exodus of employees at lower level roles because they can make more money doing their own thing than being part of the cog in the wheel. And see, that's why I say cash has no value. Like it again, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It does. But if you want to build something, the most valuable asset you have is already yours to own and control. And that's equity within your company. Because at the end of the day, what's more important, control or profit?
I have some thoughts, but where are you going? Yeah.
Share with me.
I mean, yes. but I think you're going more towards the profit side. And so and that's what I'd love to talk about, is where you're going with this is, hey, your business is its own asset class. That is your big asset. So I think that the next logical question becomes, okay, well, then what's the best way to manage our asset? Should we start sharing equity with all employees? And, are we going the ESOP direction? Are we, Justin, please enlighten us. Like, what do we do? How do we manage this? Because I know you're applying some interesting projects right now, and you're going to share those in a second. But let's keep walking down the line.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, Warren Buffett, heard the name, right?
Yep.
He's
done all right.
He's done all right.
Yeah.
Did you know he owns like 10% of Berkshire Hathaway? 10%.
I did not know that.
That's a very small portion. Did you know no one can do anything with his company without his okay? He has the ultimate veto rights. See, control and profit are two different things.
Totally agree.
Most of the time, people look at ownership in the company as control of the company. Your bylaws, I have spent probably 400 to 500 hours over the last 6 months building my business model. Just the model that we're working with, right? Because at the end of the day, what matters is not the profit, it's the control. Because my entire model is built on giving away equity. It is built on giving away my profits because I don't care about the money. The more people I can make millionaires, the more people will come join my crusade. They're join my fight. That's why, like you said, I have 30 people lined up. I've got a CFO of an $80 million company working for free, helping me.
Can we hang there for a second?
Yeah.
So, like, give us a little bit more. $80 million company.
Mm-hmm.
His skill set is financial driven.
Yep.
Important for the the entity and project that you're putting together right now. and he's working for free. We both know that people like there's a hook. There's he's doing it for a reason. I'm sure he's a great guy and there is kindness in his heart, but he's not fully and only doing it with that kindness that's in his heart. So what's the hook?
The hook is I'm going to make him a freaking millionaire. And I'm going to make 100,000 other people millionaires who follow and work with me, because I don't care about the profit. I care about the control. So if you control your organization, you can share the profit with everybody, and everybody wins. That's why I believe with the EOIF method, the model that I'm working on, I believe we will change the way employees are compensated in America forever.
Wow. You heard it here first, or second or third, but certainly not 100th on the Spotlight FlowChat. Yeah.
And the reason I believe that is because at the end of the day, McDonald's, if every single burger flipper at McDonald's walked away, that company would implode.
They would have some problems.
Walmart, Winco, Rite Aid, like all these companies, all of those companies pay cash for time. Guess what? Time is worth way more than cash. And so that's... Go ahead.
Okay. Well, time is worth way more than cash. It's a finite resource that we don't get any more of. Totally agree. What's going through my head right now is let's just play this out practically.
Yeah, please.
Because what you're starting to suggest is presenting a but potential or highly probable crisis of I don't want to be compensated in this whole deal job situation that doesn't work. We're a lot of people leaving the 9-to-5 in corporate, these other type of jobs, starting their own thing, feeling some of these pain things, might continue to work its way down the workforce ladder, we'll call it. Now you're suggesting maybe a newer landscape. I know the principles that you're implementing aren't like new concepts. They've been around, but your methodology and the way that you're bringing them to market is a shift. And so that shift might become, like a competitive edge, or it's like, hey, the bigger company, if you want to remain competitive, here's more the new norm that's more interesting to us and what will work for. Interesting take. So what ended, like, how do we start applying this? What market does this live in? What does it look like? What are some of the structure? Lay it on us.
So that's where you get to pick, right? Because at the end of the day, this is how you buy anything you need without money. First, you have to have a vision of what you're doing with the company.
Of course.
Where are you going? How are you getting there, right? That is incredibly important. Once you do that, your job, if you are in business and don't want to be in sales, get out of business. Like straight up. If you don't want to be in sales, don't own a business. Owning a business is sales. That is it. Like you're selling stockholders, you're selling employees, like all you do is sell all day long. We could argue,
if it's not you and you don't have a partner that is like, Justin, that can handle all of that, then business is not a fun game to play. It'll be a very long, painful, broke experience.
Exactly. And anybody can learn sales, guys. Sales is super easy. I'll even tell you my trick. My trick to be successful in sales, I figure out, what does Chris Baden want? And then, get this, then I give it to him. What? That's crazy. And if Chris Baden doesn't want what I have, I find someone else. There are millions of people out there. There are hundreds of thousands of problems, billions of problems, right? There are people that will pay you for whatever, like gnomes. There's a whole community of people who love and buy gnomes, right? I don't even get it, but they're out there. So it's all about looking at how do we use these tools, these assets. And that's all sales is. So you go out, put your vision together, and then you recruit. Because here's what happens when someone goes to an investor. And this is why in my organization, investors are like the least paid people. They really are, because money is the easiest thing in the world to get.
Interesting perspective.
And that's one of the reasons why it's super easy for me to get money, because I believe it's easy to get money. Does that make sense? Like,
yep, true. There's some truth to that.
Your
You get money because it's easy to get money. So you're less afraid, less hesitant, to ask, to think of the idea of what even makes sense to ask for it, and to go through that process. And I mean, you've built up some skills over the years, so confidence growth and all that. But all this being said, I love the application. So you yourself, you're not just saying words, and I think that's what brings more weight and more merit to what you're actually communicating. And so, can you tell us a little bit more about your story and how you're actually even just applying some of these principles that you just shared with us?
Sure. So I will do a super abbreviated backstory, and then we'll dive into the future.
The 1980s. I'm just kidding.
It was 1999. I'm not that old. But seriously, it was 1999. I was 13 years old. My parents bought a Sandler training franchise to train their remodeling company, plumbing company, and electrical company. I asked my dad what he did. He said, I want to show you instead of tell you. 13 years old, 2 hours every Wednesday in sales training between 8th and 9th grade. Changed my life.
Wow.
I am one of the most blessed people out there. I believe like that has shifted the entire trajectory. So after college, I went, got a marketing degree, started working in the sales training business, coach, consultant for 10 years. I ended up leaving because it's a franchise. I was learning digital marketing, like with what Chris does here with us. And I'm learning all that, applying it. I got a cease and desist letter from the franchise. That's all right.
You tried to step out and do your own thing.
Naughty.
They didn't like it. Okay.
So they didn't like it. So that started my entrepreneurial journey. Once I got on that road, I went all in. I sold my house, closed retirement accounts. We moved from Boise, Idaho to Orlando, Florida. Within 6 months, I had spent every dime I had saved, and I was dead broke, and the business failed. It was great. I learned.
It was great. I didn't see the line coming, but yeah.
I learned such a powerful lesson, because when I tried to start that business, I started at the bottom of the value ladder. Guess what? You can't build a profitable business getting leads and selling them a $10 widget. You have to, unless you have a giant bank account. If you got the bank account, that works fine. But if you're bootstrapping it, like I'm doing, I'm bootstrapping still. I've been bootstrapping for 4 years now. Like, whatever. It's part of my entrepreneurial journey. So when I did that, I learned you have to sell a high ticket product up front to build the business before going after the leads. So if you're starting out, that's the first failure that I went through that I want you to avoid. Raise your price. I promise you it will be easier to sell and more fulfilling. So after that,
good to know.
Yeah. After that, I started working with new entrepreneurs. The problem with new entrepreneurs is they don't have money and they can't stay closed, right?
Yeah.
That's a big problem. If your business is designed to sell to new entrepreneurs, you are setting yourself up for a high level of churn because they're going to cycle. Every entrepreneur cycles. If you haven't failed 5 times, it's because you don't have a successful business yet. You still got some failure to do. That's okay. Keep going. Keep failing. It's cool. We've all done it, right? So that's the next step. You've got to sell to people with money. After that, I transitioned into a lead gen agency. This is where, again, I'm a sales guy through and through. I love it. I do it. I'm good at running my mouth, and that's where my talent stops, right? So my lead gen agency, I was great at bringing on clients, but I did them a huge disservice because I always focused on building my business, not theirs. And I was under it matters, right?
Fulfillment, delivery, right? Yeah.
So I had a 3-month churn cycle. Because of that, I was constantly on the rabbit trail of not enough leads, too many leads, blah, 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 right? Too much production, not enough production. Oh, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
COVID hit. That business imploded. That's when I stepped back and said, okay, I love business. I just want to be an investor. I want to invest my time in other people's business, doing what I'm good at, and let them do what they're good at. Because at the end of the day, you have to build a team of experts. Customer service is huge. I think one of the biggest trends coming back is people focusing on human-to-human interaction again. I mean, novel concept, right?
Crazy idea.
Who would have thought having an actual, not automated conversation was going to be good for business? It's crazy, but it's real, right?
Yeah, totally true.
And so that's how I realized I've got to build a team. And about 6 months later, I met someone in the tax world, partnered with them. The previous year, when it was December, we had just started. She did $650,000 in revenue. I told her, listen, she was working on a bunch of marketing stuff. I said, you're not ready for marketing. We got to get sales lined out first. Let me do it. Partner together. I want equity and we'll grow. She said, yes. I came in, tripled her prices overnight, oversold production by April, had to stop sales until August. And with all of that, was on track to do $1.8 million.
Wow. Wow.
So
1.2 million boost, annual revenue boost. That feels good.
100%. And so I don't work with them anymore because my lesson here is get paperwork done or know who you're working with. Like know that person's character in depth. So my lesson learned was get paperwork done because I did it. About October last year, she decided she did not want to have another business partner. And so that's when I was exited from that company because at the end of the day, you can pay me cash, but cash, again, I already told you, cash ain't worth shit. Equity is where the value is in a company. If I'm going to invest my time with someone, I'm going to get equity for it because that's what my time is worth. That mindset, I beg you, like if you are an agency of any sort, own that mindset. You can grow your holdings and instead of charging your clients cash, charge them equity. Guess what? Now you're paid on the results that you get for your client year after year after year, even if it's only a 6-month stint, because of the process you instilled in their company. So this is critical because guess what? You're a better partner when you're paid equity. You know what I will do when I have equity on the table? Damn near anything. Like, how can I bring value to the table? Because at the end of the day, it's my business.
Totally different position.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's why it's so powerful to give equity away. Because think about this. the best thing
to the right person. To the right person.
To the right person. Yeah. But
small detail, but yeah.
It all depends on what you're trying to do. So
yeah.
When I really turn on PR, every single show we go to, we're going to give equity away on. So every news station.
Oh, gosh, that's buzzy. That's a good hook. So how are you going to do that?
It's my company.
I know you got control because we had that conversation earlier on this conversation. I was saying, like, I'm genuinely curious. Like, every business owner, entrepreneur listening, it's like, I mean, it's going through my head. It's like, okay, well, we have some different speaking stuff coming this year. It's like building a software company. That feels like a huge hook. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna want to listen to the guy that's giving away equity today on stage. What? Like, such a good hook. Like, how do I even do that? Is that an ESOP? Is that like I'm really selling people on buying into the vision and then they get so do you mind sharing or walking us through?
Okay. So how I'm doing it, because you really have 3 assets that you control. This is behind the scenes shit, right? So
right. We want the good stuff. Don't hold back on it.
This is the good stuff. Hey, you have cash. People like cash. They're programmed to want cash.
Mm-hmm.
You've got equity. That's something you may have to teach people why they want that. The other thing you can control is time. So when I give out equity on all these shows, I give it away, but there's a 5-year vesting period where they can't.
Okay.
So they can't sell it. It's not worth anything except the value I put into it. And the dividends are reinvested into my company, just like I would have done.
Until they're vested. Yeah. And if they, it's a great risk reversal. So it's like if they get to the point where they're actually vested, you're like, this totally makes sense for the company. Therefore, it's good structure. I like it. It's, like having a good guarantee or, offer of, hey, if I guarantee this, and then fine print, not in a negative sense, but it's just like, you got to at least do this and this. And it's like, if you cover that, then maybe you don't get this. If you don't get this result or this type of outcome, then here's what I'm willing to do personally, because I can vet for this. I can vouch for this.
Exactly. So you have time, cash, and equity, right? So I'm giving equity to all employees in every company we buy. I probably have about 5 companies that I'm working on putting deals together for right now because they want to be part of this ecosystem, part of what I'm creating. So when you do that, it gives you leverage. Now, when it comes to sales, how does a company make money? Clients, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to sales, and this is why investors, the cool thing about what I'm doing is I'm controlling when people get ownership and access to the equity I give out. I'm also controlling how much equity I sell to investors. I'm only going to sell equity when it comes to, hey, I need to buy this company. I'm going to keep the amount of supply accessible in the public domain extremely small, which is going to make the stock extremely valuable when people can find it for sale. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
And so then when clients come in, they're bringing the money, they're bringing the value to the company. They're the investor. So my program I sell, it's $30K per year. Okay. It has a 5-year contract. But the moment you sign that contract, I put 25 shares of my investment firm in your name. You can cancel the contract at the drop of a hat. If you do, you just lose those shares and all the growth that has gone with it. If you don't, you get the shares and all the growth that we've created together over the last 5 years. So now every single employee that the client works with is an owner in the investment firm. And every single client the employee works with is also an owner of the investment firm. So everybody benefits together the more we build the ecosystem. And once we start buying additional companies, what's going to happen is people spend money, get this, with the businesses they own, right? My father-in-law, he worked for Simplot for 40 years, has a bunch of McDonald's stock because that was part of the package.
Yeah.
We support McDonald's, plain and simple. It's part of our company. So that's the power of having an ecosystem like this, is once you get an owner, why would I pay Stripe for credit card processing when I own this company? The more revenue that company makes, the more that's going into the investment firm, the more that goes out in dividends, and that's called a refund, right? I mean, it's one way to look at it, but it's all about how did you engineer your company to work?
So it kind of brings up this powerful word, ecosystem, and that's a little bit more of what you're talking about. And it's going to take more time than we have today to get into that. But if someone's leaning into this conversation and are interested and they're like, oh, dang it, now I just got open looped and I want to hear more about the ecosystem, Justin, where's the best place to find you?
So check it. You can see everything I am doing. I am extremely transparent. So go to EOIF.co. It stands for Employee-Owned Investment Firm. I'm very clever. It's important to know I am a donist. I put stuff out there if it's functional. Hence my website. It's white and text. Thank you. I'm very clever.
Yes, brilliant design here, Justin. He studied at the design school. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So, and in terms of strategy, structure, execution, what he's up to, and some of the model stuff that he's talking about. If you're investment minded, if you're a business, owner, entrepreneur minded, like this is good content. To consume. Justin's a great guy to know, to have in your network. He's a power networker. Like he said, like that's where he shines, and he's done a good job of being aware of that, and now positioning himself with very strategic partners. So just I appreciate you coming on and sharing more about what you have going on, your perspective of the world of business and of money. The one thing as our last question that I'd like to ask that we don't know yet is more of a why-driven question. I look at musicians, I look at athletes, I look at artists, I look at entrepreneurs, any person that's contributing, that's creating, that's putting themselves out there. It's a really scary and vulnerable place, and it takes kind of a slightly twisted and odd person to keep doing that over and over. And I would definitely put you and myself in that bucket. So what fascinates me is, why does a person like that do that? So what drives you, Justin?
I love that question. Thank you for asking it. At the end of the day, I don't care what you guys believe. I'm not here to preach at anybody. I believe in God, and I believe God gave me a gift for business. I'm bad at a whole lot of other stuff, like real bad, guys. But when
you should play poker. Here's that's a whole other story. That's a funny story. He actually gave his chip to other people that were good, and then cut a deal with them and said, if you win, here's the portion you get, here's the portion I get. He became an investor even in playing poker. It was a really fun story. But anyway, so sorry, I didn't mean to. I think you might enjoy that.
I love it. I love it.
God gave you certain skills, and yeah.
God gave me the gift of seeing and creating business and that interlocking ecosystem, and how does it work in sales. And most people don't have that gift. And I firmly believe God gave me the gift so that I can use it to change millions of people's lives. My personal goal, I want to make 100,000 millionaires. That's my goal. And I can track it exactly through my stock that I'm literally giving away. That's why I mentioned my PR tour. The reason I'm giving away stock, I have set aside a bunch of stock to give away just to make people money. Like when I go, one thing I'm going to do is have cards when I go out to a restaurant to eat. My tip is going to be giving someone one stock in my company. You took care of me tonight. I'm going to take care of you for the rest of your life.
That's a good trade for them,
right?
Which is cool. And I love your heart in general. But that's I didn't even know that. That's a cool approach. What restaurant are you going to? And I just need to know how to be a waiter for one night. Chris, what are you doing working here? You're still tipping, right? Exactly. Whatever you need tonight, Justin. I got you. Anyway, I'm just having fun, man.
Exactly, though. But so that's what drives me. That's why I care. That's why I do all of this. And I could make boatloads of money doing almost nothing. I just know how to make money. I don't want to do. I want to build something to bless other people. And that's what we're doing.
Well, that's what will continue to succeed, Justin, is you're a rare breed, and your sincerity, your genuineness, and you're definitely somebody that cares. And that's definitely very valuable in this world. So, hey, appreciate you, my friend, for coming on. And FlowChat fam, thank you for watching the Spotlight series. We're bringing real people that are getting real results, that are on the front lines, weeding through all the garbage to bring us the truth, what works, and what's getting results and moving the needle forward. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next one.